towards more conversation. Okay?
My stomach hurts from that burrito.
Oh man, that's not good.
I wasn't gonna go to see this movie at all.
Nope.
I was just gonna let you. I thought you had people to go with, honestly.
Nope.
I thought you were gonna ask somebody from the gym. The only reason I decided to go with you is because you kind of like. He guilted me into it.
I wouldn't go as far as to say all that.
I was pleasantly surprised. I know when I first moved here, you were watching it. Like every now and then you would watch. I don't even know if there were new episodes of Dragon Ball, but like I know you were still like watching it on some kind of regular basis.
There's a combination of nostalgia and potential to keep me watching this show.
Okay.
Nostalgia because, I mean, as long as I can remember, I've been watching Dragon Ball. I mean, it used to play when I was a little kid, and I used to just get home from school and turn it on. And then I saw him grow into a teenager, and then, you know, he got this chick pregnant and shit, you know what I mean? And then he had
So
kids.
there is like quite a bit of backstory.
Oh, there's so much, man. When he first comes in, and when he first is introduced in the anime when he's a little kid, it's like, he's not that powerful. He's just a little kid who's, you know, above average strong and above average.
This is Goku.
Yeah, this is Goku when he was like a little kid, right? And then all of a sudden, Dragon Ball Z comes out, which is the next, is when he's like a teenager / I'm about to have kids, kind of, you know, whatever. And so you remember like his entire infancy, you know, and now you see him as a teenager, and now he has kids, and he's a grown man with children, and there's so much invested in this now that you just
Aren't there
see
like
it.
literally like hundreds of episodes?
Yeah, there's hundreds of episodes, I'm sure. Like, I'm not an expert on it,
But like, have you seen every single one?
I have.
Okay.
I have. It's not very good at plots. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Dragon
it's
Ball.
never really been the attraction.
Right, I don't think so. I think originally it was.
So is it the fighting that is the attraction, or is it the
So see, that's the transition. Originally, when it first started, it was like a plot based, and the fighting was there, but the fighting just sort of stimulated the plot. There were so many things he was discovering and new friends that he was meeting, and it was really awesome. For some reason, the story always stayed cemented with like just the main characters, and so as Dragon Ball continued, is less and less about plot, in my opinion, at least, and more about fighting.
But it seems to me that there are genres, and that like one of the genres is like this kind of like fighting type of thing where that is the focus. I feel like Dragon Ball isn't the only one, right?
Yeah, it's not, but there's a difference though. There's a difference in where like how witty you can be with your writing. And
what I really enjoy from an anime is like Attack on Titan, where like there's so much deep plot, and like I feel like there's so many animes out there that have that. Like, why would you, like, I don't understand what the attraction is. So the only time that I've seen Dragon Ball was probably just like watching little clips of episodes with you. And like the whole time, first of all, they're all like yelling. It wasn't dubbed. It wasn't dubbed. Like they're screaming the entire time. There's no like conversation. So like this plot seemed to never slow down. None of that seemed at all interesting to me. So, but like I was waiting. I'm assuming that I'm just like missing all of this plot line, like because I haven't seen the rest of the episodes.
it's like a guitar, right? It's like the first time you buy a guitar, you're not really concerned too much. You just kind of want to play it, right? And the more you play, the more you're concerned about the sound, the more you're concerned about the action on it. You know, how does it feel?
Sure.
So you become more pedantic as you grow in some sort of
anime
concept,
consumer?
Right, yes, you do. And so...
Because I feel like the type of people who watch Dragon Ball are anime consumers overall.
Yes. So that's what I was trying to get at. What I was trying to get at is that, yes, and so as you grow... Animes, you're saying, because I was going to bring it back to the point that there are a lot of animes that are about fighting, but they're not all like Dragon Ball.
Sure.
Like Dragon Ball, like there are a lot of animes that are like Dragon Ball, but what I mean is
even One Piece has a lot of really great fight scenes.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah, they do.
And they don't drag them out for too long.
And the world is fucking vast. And
you made it sound like that their merge was going to be like, that was something that they never did. But I feel like I literally might have seen them merge in the only anime that I saw. Like, I felt like that's...
No. I guess what I was trying to say is, there's different types of merges.
Oh.
And the particular merge that they used is
I literally
not
have
right.
no idea.
Right.
Like,
But what I'm saying is that like that's what's wrong with it. What's wrong with it is that like by the time I showed up to the movie, like I already knew, like, you know, when Broly showed up, I already knew one dude was gonna fight him. He was gonna be too much. The other dude was gonna step in.
Yeah.
He was gonna be too much, and they were finally gonna say, "Let's merge." And then at the very end, when when Broly is about to get killed, I knew that there was something was gonna happen to save him and making a friend for, like, you know, a friend for the future. Like I knew all this, and it's the same recipe over and over and over.
I did not want to go see this movie. I had homework to do. I was gonna stay home. I had like other plans, and I felt bad, so I fucking went. And I was not expecting anything. Like I was expecting screaming and fighting, and I was gonna be bored and annoyed. And the first like 10 minutes of the movie, like I was already like hooked. Like I was like, I like all these characters. Like, oh, so there's like a backstory with Goku and his wife, and like who are the other people? Like that's cool that they're fighting at the resort or whatever on the beach. And like Brawly's story I thought was interesting. Like how long was the fight scene?
It was pretty fucking long, dude. I guess what it is about Dragon Ball is that, like, if I could compare Dragon Ball would be like a Michael Bay film. Explosions. Giant, like, you know, like you it's almost like a visual stimulation more than it is a sort of like plot driven kind of, you know what I mean? It's more like that.
But it's weird because even, like, I don't understand it because even that, like, it doesn't get me, like, curious about who's gonna win.
No, like I said, like, when I saw the movie, I saw all of its downfalls. I saw it, like I said, because I have my reasons to see it, but I saw all of the downfalls. It's like, it's just like, it's weird to sort of try to explain a little bit of the history in the beginning, but they don't explain it well enough. You can talk to people and ask them. In my opinion, it was like, what were you most intrigued about? And I think they would have said, like, dude, the origin story of Brawl. They were gonna go into the history of like Goku and Goku's parents, and you've seen it before, somewhat, you know, in other releases.
Yeah.
But like,
and I'm like curious about the guy that he grew up with, like his dad, like what happened to mom. Like I'm assuming they're gonna get into that later, but like you don't think so?
Nah. What I'm saying is that like I feel like there's so much lore that they could explore, but they don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of what's sad about it.
And so that's what I'm saying last night was that like I feel like they would have such a larger fan base if they kind of expanded their plots and like just minimize, like break up the fight scene. Like it can be that long. You can have that much of it, but like break it up.
Yeah.
But maybe I guess they're doing fine without expanding.
I feel like they're cashing in on all these long time fans. You know, that's kind of how Dragon Ball was to me. It was just like, oh, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's a dope ass anime, and the plot was really dope, and you know what I mean. And the fights were really awesome, but it started to become more and more about fights and about just like visual fights. You know, like
that you've shown me. It's such a dick. Okay, overall, I'm telling you that I did not have high expectations. So, I'm actually impressed. Like, overall, I was like, fuck yeah, like, I'm ready to watch some more Dragon Ball.
Really?
And, like, skip over the fucking fight scenes.
Interesting. No, I was alright about it.
Because also, like, I thought it was gonna get serious between, like, the bad guy and then Brawly and whatnot. Like, I thought that it was gonna be more controversial and more, like, feel like more of an issue, but it was actually quite comedic.
That I hold anime to higher standards now. For some reason, I don't hold Dragon Ball to higher standards.
Yeah, that's what I find weird. That's what I find weird, because you're so critical of, like, everything else that we watch.
Yeah, I am very critical.
Yet, like...
Dragon Ball, just let it slide?
Yeah.
It's a nostalgia thing. It's a nostalgia thing. Like, I'm capable of seeing all the stuff that is like, whoa, really? Come on, man. It's like, even, like, just like you said, like, you know, when I was watching the fight, there was a moment where I'm like, okay, I'm kind of not
checking out
as focused as I originally was. You know what I mean?
And then, like, what was, because it didn't really seem like it was that pressing of a matter, you know? But maybe that's just how the attitude of, like, their attitude is, I guess.
Yeah,
they're not really that scared.
That's the attitude. That's the attitude that they have.
Okay.
They're always down to throw down. Like the same way you're always down to hit the gym.
Yeah.
They're always down. Like to them, fighting is like you hitting the gym. I gotta hit the gym. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what it is for them.
And I'm like, damn, like, I wish it would go into Braoly and Goku's friendship or something.
Exactly. Like, you know what they'll do? They'll introduce a character, and then it'll be a really badass character, and then you'll kind of grow to love the character a little bit.
Even
and
like
then,
the girl.
And then, yeah, like, you know, like
Braoly's friend.
Yeah. And then, like in the middle of the anime, they'll throw in the middle of the story, they'll throw like a flashback. They created this fan base that are only satisfied when they see improvement.
Like if they can like achieve some new form.
Yes. And once you made that, it's like a vicious cycle to try to get out. Because it's like, okay, he's gone Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, Super Saiyan Red, Super Saiyan Blue. Now they got Super Saiyan Blue 2. Now they got, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
thought was.
Like, you know, this ultra form, you know, whatever it's called, I forget.
I guess I don't think that I'm an anime nerd.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate that about Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
And at least from what you've told me about One Piece, like, and what I've seen. Like, I really appreciate all the pieces coming together, and like hundreds of episodes is still palatable and likable for people because there's so much to it.
It's exactly what you've learned to expect from Dragon Ball.
I'm glad that I watched it, because the next time that you like watch an episode of Dragon Ball, I'll feel like a little bit more connected and like I understand, kind of. I was definitely not expecting like as much interest as I found.
Did you really?
Yeah, you're welcome for coming. You're an anime nerd.
Yeah.